Hey everyone,
Hi.
Hello.
welcome to the show.
Welcome. How are you, Ben?
Wishing I had a couple more days off of work. It's been a 3-day weekend, and it's the first time off that I've had since New Year's time. And I gotta admit, I'm a little spoiled.
Yeah, I know.
I could really use some extra time.
I feel this. I feel your pain.
All right,
Definitely.
let's. Oh my gosh, I got to turn down my phone.
Let's do a chat check.
Yeah. All right.
First of all, here.
Yeah. Wow. First of all, Mike Wheeler showed up a couple of hours ago, so that's some patience right there, Mike. Thanks so much.
Yeah. I don't have.
Rocket Robin.
The Orlando guy is here.
Yeah. D&G Explorers are here. The Orlando guy. So yes, Richard. I have my mug too.
Steve, the Sugar Plum Fairy, sent me, according to Zippity Doodad.
Oh dear Lord! Hey Zip, welcome.
Hey, Zip. Hi, Brandy and Dave.
Hi, Danny.
Dean, Dreamers.
Danny, my niece, Empire. Danny. There's multiple Dannys.
Oh, Danny. Hi. Hello.
Monarch Moments. Hello. Has taken some time off from Disneyland to join us. They were streaming live on Main Street a couple of hours ago.
I'm sorry. Who was that? I'm sorry.
Monarch Moments.
Oh, Monarch Moments. Yes.
Yeah. Grace F is here. Cody Hankins, welcome to the stream. Samantha Lowe, hi. Judy. We said Zip. Lady Jamers is here. Brandy and Dave. Dean of Dreamers Empire and The Life Place. Hi, Dean. Welcome to the show. Russ Stapleton. Andy J. LSU Mom. Captain Akron. Amy of AJC Magic TV is here. Dina McNeil. Rob Fuzz. Welcome, Rob. Alex Bruner. Steve is here. Hey, Steve. Nice streaming today. Wow, an extra hour today for you. That's a lot of improv. So congratulations on 2 hours. Good for you. That's a lot of work.
Yes, it is. It's a lot of work.
Arjons is here. Hi, Arjons. It's all jumping here. Alyssa Stenberg. Hi. Tina McNeil. Stacy Rogers, as always. Hi. Thanks for being here. I think we're just about caught up by Magical News Live. Nick, hey, welcome to the stream.
Jumbo Nick.
AJC Magic TV.
I just remember watching Nick during the Christmas season at the Hollywood Studios singing SANTA all the time. It's just that made me laugh. But welcome to the stream, everyone.
Michelle, thank you for being here. Kay Atwood, wonderful. Dreamer Deborah, thank you. Cargo, great to see you.
Stefan, welcome. Cargo's here. Hey, Cargo.
And D&G can't text me because I don't have my phone by me, so they can't make fun of me.
Is that intentional, Doug?
No, I just have it in the other room. I just don't have it.
For those
and it looks like Richard, the Orlando guy, is ready for the stream. He's got his
ham,
he's got his Cheez-Its and his Diet Coke.
Nice.
My ham, my gloves.
I just had dinner. I mean, I've got my Cheez-Its here, but I won't be partaking of any Cheez-Its. But I do have my Diet Coke, which is ready to open. So
awesome.
Oh, he already choked down. So what did you choke down for dinner?
I did some little English muffin pizzas for myself.
Very easy. Very simple.
Yeah, I actually made them by myself. I had to figure out how to turn on the broiler, but I did make them myself.
It's broil.
Yeah.
High or low.
I figured that out.
Hard.
For those of you who regularly watch, I am streaming from the chair where I've done a few of my Life with Ben episodes, and I figured, you know what? I want to be more comfortable than sitting in a folding chair next to my bed. It was a makeshift studio over there. I feel a little more comfortable here. I'm in a big cushy chair. It's like I'm on the set of Ellen or something.
Yeah, it's a nice cushy chair. I like that chair very much.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? Aside from our Canadian friends, did everyone have a good 3-day weekend with President's Day? If you got to celebrate at all.
That's true.
Some people worked through it. I have several friends in retail that had to work today, and fortunately, I was able to get the day off. And I really do feel like I need another day.
Yeah.
But such is life when I'm beginning to think Ben needs a target intervention. Why would you say that, Stacy?
English muffin pizzas. Great, such great childhood memories thinking of those for dinner.
Go Google or YouTube search husbands of Target. Watch the video.
Yeah.
Don't do it now. Do it when we're done. But remember, write it down. Watch that video. It's from a guy who's called Dude Dad.
Dude Dad, yeah.
Yeah, Dude Dad. He's brilliant. He created a video about, it's a positive mockery of Target, but it's called Husbands of Target. And after you watch it, actually makes you want to go to Disneyland.
Oh, look at that. The Husbands of Target video is hilarious. It is.
It is. It's actually brilliant. I mean, it's beautifully done. Yeah. And he has, I don't think it's
very funny.
Round long. They took the Post Malone song and did another one of based on Target, and it's a mockery of the Post Malone song. It's actually very funny too.
I think you have a problem, Ben. But then again, the same could be said about me and Walmart. I can't seem to go past one without going in.
Oh yeah, well, Stacy, we've got some things in mind for Target in the future on Life with Ben. So
we sure do.
When that comes up, you'll see. But Donna's here. She's listening while she's driving. So
Donna, thank you.
Welcome to the stream, Donna.
So Ben, when you're sitting in your cushy chair right now, right?
Yeah. Look what Kay Atwood is saying here.
Ben doesn't need an intervention. He needs more gift cards.
And I wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. Target gift cards are always fun.
Do you know when...
And Grace, you're right. And Grace, I'm so sorry you had to work this weekend. You know, 3-day weekend for Grace, but... the
scene in Lion King where the two hyenas talk, Shanzi and Ed. No, the two hyenas that talk in Lion King, where it's Shanzi and another one, and Ed's like the one that doesn't talk. It's like Bonzi, or something like that. Bonsai, Shanzi, and Ed. When the two are talking, they all say Mufasa, and the other one goes,
yeah.
Say it again. That feeling, I swear to God, you guys, when you see Ben, when he shoves his red card into the little chip reader, he gets just chill, like, you know, when you say Mufasa, and he just say Mufasa, say it again. You could see it, and he glows by shoving that red card, saving his 5%.
Oh, it is not that bad.
Oh, yes, it is. I've been with you 1,000 times at Target, and you just, it's like Mufasa. You say Mufasa. So every time, and then he's like, "Look, I saved 5 cents." Did you guys do it?
Perhaps our stream should not be the Disney Plus Movie Club. Perhaps it should be about Target tonight.
No,
that's what we're covering. It seems.
So yeah, well, we need to get on topic. Is there anybody new here?
Cargo is saying, "Oh my, OMG, Doug, that's hilarious."
Yeah. Say it
again. So anyway, then when you sit down to watch a movie on Disney Plus, you're in that cushy chair.
Yes, I am. My TV is directly in front of me. It's 50-inch of plasma goodness that I got at Target.
Of course.
Did you get it from watching Cars?
I did not get it from watching Cars.
Oh, I love that video. Oh my God.
The TV was actually purchased with gift cards that I received from work about 3 or 4 years ago. My former boss was wonderful to me, and she and her team got together and gave me enough money in the form of Target gift cards where I was able to afford a nice big TV on sale. And
hashtag Target gift cards for Ben.
Oh my gosh, seriously? Who's starting that?
No one.
Okay,
don't send us gift cards, people. We don't need your money.
No.
Don't.
Oh, more money. Thank you for joining.
No. So we want to talk about something that
hold on. Maybe Jay says it's her first time. She didn't realize we're in Northern California. She's not far from where she's at.
Wonderful. Yes, we are in the San Francisco Bay Area, Andy.
Yeah, if you want to know a little bit more about the longitude and latitude, exactly where we live, then we will let you know privately.
Yes.
There it is, Ben, from D&G Explorers.
Yep.
Mufasa must be an insult to dogs. I said it to our Rottweiler Shepherd mix, and he almost belt my face off. Hey, that's odd.
Stacy, that's hysterical.
So, okay, we can go on ad nauseum about Target and gift cards and the shivers.
But the topic.
Let's talk about what we want to achieve, what we wanted to create, and it's going to be absolutely pretty brilliant. So, it is the Disney Plus Movie Club. So what essentially this is we're going to take a movie and it's going to make us make us force to watch very classically and trashy, not great movies that we would not normally watch. And this is not animation. We're not going to watch any classic animation. This has nothing to do with animation. And we're trying to stay in with the decade of the 60s and 70s, well, maybe a tiny bit into the 80s.
We will do the 50s, 60s, 70s, and then into the 80s, just before Michael Eisner and Frank Wells took over the Disney company.
Yeah. 50s had some classics.
It was a time when Walt was more invested in handling things at Disneyland. He turned things over at the studio to the people that were there. They wanted to keep things safe. They want Plasma TV. Welcome to 1992.
We have a 3D Plasma TV. We bought in 2011.
But OLED will definitely be our next TV.
Yeah. Gee, I refuse to buy anything Samsung.
Anyway, we just watched the video from Rob Plays, and he actually is handling a situation of what would Walt do, because that was where the studio was going after Walt passed away in December of 1966. So the movies were progressively safe, bland, dull, and more formulaic and more centered toward kiddie entertainment rather than trying to engage the entire population out there.
At this time, but towards the 70s, the studio itself was only cranking out about 3 movies a year.
Yeah,
they had really cut way back on their production.
At that time, most studios were doing at least 10 movies a year.
Yeah, and they were putting big budget. You got Jaws, Star Wars in 1977. So Disney Productions was really playing it safe and scared. I think they were just more scared that just poor leadership.
Good night,
did everything. So we were watching these amazing movies, and we were looking through after we watched The Ugly Dachshund. We actually saw just a plethora. Disney Plus is worth every dime. Absolutely every dime. The amount of content that's on there is unbelievable.
It really is.
So over the weekend, I did the Daily Dose of Disney, and one of the items over the on Saturday was the fact that The Ugly Dachshund premiered in the theater, and so we thought, you know what? Mm-hmm. That's it. You're right. You're
Absolutely,
right,
Richard. Absolutely.
That was the lost decade.
Hi, Megan. Welcome.
Megan. Hi.
Megan's taking care of Sweetie. I got to see Sweetie earlier today, and she's just a little, as Megan refers to her, a little pterodactyl.
Yeah.
It's a very term. It's a big term of endearment. It's because of all the cute noises she makes. But anyway, welcome, Megan. Good to have you.
So anyway,
it's
the movie that we decided to watch for this particular
to kick off
a premiere or the pilot episode of the Disney Plus Movie Club is what we're calling it. We chose The Ugly Dachshund simply because it was, she's my tiny pterodactyl. It was a movie that just happened to be celebrating the fact that it was released on February 15th, 1966. So we thought, you know what?
Great, we want to watch it.
Why not? We've always wanted to watch that movie. I had never seen The Ugly Dachshund, so I thought, let's watch it.
I never had either. However, it starred Dean Jones, who was a Disney staple during the 60s and 70s, and Suzanne Pleshette, who most people better know her as the wife of Bob Newhart on Bob Newhart's show from 1972 to 1978.
Right.
Then Tanika Strikes Again. The fact that I know that off the top of my head is even scary to me.
She was a heavy smoker.
She was a heavy smoker.
Which is why her voice was higher pitched in the movie The Ugly Dachshund than it was later in the mid 70s when you were watching the Bob Newhart show.
Yeah. So it was just kind of interesting. So on the movie, so what it is I made dinner last night, and after we were all fat and sassy, we sat back and it was movie night. So we just kind of like, well, he couldn't have his phone off to save his life. So phones went off and it forced us to watch this movie. We put it on and it was an hour and 40 minutes.
An hour and 30.
Put it on, warmed up.
It's an hour and 33.
Okay, hour and 33. We warmed up the plasma TV, sat down with our discernible butt print on the couch. Our lazy boy Barca loungers went up and we watched it. And we had 2 pee breaks and we stopped at once because we like to analyze it. So we want to analyze it and we want to get all of you involved as we'll pick a movie. You'll have about 3 weeks to watch it, make a scene about it, think about it in character, acting, storyline, anything that kind of you find out. So what a normal critic we would do, we would talk about story.
Yeah, just think
acting,
just think about all aspects of the film.
Scenery, costumes, cinematography, the music. I mean, this movie, by the way, last night was absolutely brilliant. I want the music. Yes, I have a discernible putt print. You can.
So you like the soundtrack to the movie?
Oh my gosh, it was Tomorrowland all over.
It actually sounded like you were walking into Tomorrowland at Disneyland.
It was
when a couple of weeks ago when we were doing our discussion on Disney music, and there was a certain sound that Disney soundtracks had on movies and all that. You heard it during The Ugly Dachshund. It is like a lot of strings with woodwinds, and I'm sorry about that. I did not mean to hit my microphone. There's just a certain sound that comes across in the music of Disney soundtracks during the 60s, and it's brilliant. It sets it aside from anyone else. When you hear that sound, you know it's a Disney product.
So that's what we're going to look at. It is costumes, acting, actors, scene sets, cinematography, story.
So D&G's asking, what movie was it again? It is The Ugly Dachshund
from 1966.
And I would have to say, start out, the movie is actually very good. It wasn't painfully, it was dated. I mean, it's the mid 60s.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. But it was actually not campy or cheesy.
No, it was a typical Disney movie.
It was a very Disney movie, and I was thoroughly engaged. Loved the music, and if I have to count how many times I heard Mark, Fran, I was gonna just go bananas. I mean, a lot, because it's that type of movie where they constantly were saying each other's names when they were, and it's all physical comedy. And then they did a very good job of that. And then every movie in that time, you'll notice that Disney's doing a great job, is they're making a disclaimer talking about how there's
we'll get there. We'll get there.
We are going there.
Right at the beginning.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. We got to talk about the disclaimer.
No, we don't. Not at the beginning. We don't have to. We could talk about the film.
Okay, so what are we going to talk about?
First,
story, the costumes,
well,
the music.
The story, we hit on the music. The story of the movie. Some people have never even heard of the movie. The Ugly Dachshund is about a husband and wife who have a family of dachshunds. The movie starts with them rushing their pregnant dachshund to the animal hospital. And after they arrive there, they find that there is a family or some Great Danes, a large litter of Great Danes that were born at about the same time. And one of the Great Danes was pushed from its mother because there were too many Great Danes born in this litter and not enough milk for the mother. So the mother pushed this little dog away, and they felt sorry for the vet felt sorry for the little puppy, offered it to the character played by Dean Jones, and he took it home. And his wife was a little surprised a little while later because they found that after a while, the dog was growing faster than the dachshunds. And she finally figured out that it was not a dachshund, but that it was a Great Dane that they had brought home.
Hence the name, The Ugly
Dachshund.
Yeah, it was. I don't think the title was great, but
Stacy says, "Can we start again? I'm lost."
we're talking about movies. We're going to be doing it every month.
Megan came in. We started talking about round babies.
you get Bebe involved, and that just puts everybody in a frothy frenzy. So, we're talking about movie. We're going to be doing.
Oh, hi Noah.
We're going to do once a month a movie club, just like a book club, like, Oprah Book Club, where she releases a book, you go read it, and everybody turns around, gets back, and sits around with canapes, and you talk about the book.
Canapes, really?
Yeah, we'll have canapes and charcuterie and all that kind of fun stuff, and we'll just have a smoking pipe, and we'll talk about the movie, just like you would do a book.
No,
so we're gonna do it.
Smoking pipe. No, like Mark in the movie. I gave up smoking 2 months ago.
Mark in the movie. So that's what we're doing. We're essentially taking a book club and making it a movie, and it's Disney Plus, based on live action movies in the 50s, 60s, 70s, kind of spinning it in the era of right before Eisner got there. And we're not doing animation. So there's a lot of live action, and we're going to be picking stuff from all over. Our next one we're going to be doing for the month of March that you can get together.
We have not decided yet.
Oh, I thought we already decided.
We have not decided yet.
The Black Hole.
No, we have not.
That has not been decided.
Oh, I thought we talked about that yesterday. We wanted it to be the next one.
No. Doug said, I want to watch The Black Hole.
I'm watching it for my movie club. If you want to join me and we could do it, the movie club will be, I want to watch The Black Hole. So that will be coming.
Lord.
Because I just think it'd be so trashily good.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Ben, continue telling about The Ugly Dachshund.
Okay. For me, there's a few weak links in the movie. At one point, you have an officer who's coming around. While the couple were rushing their dog to the hospital, they get pulled over by a police officer, and instead of pulling them over, Dean Jones's character points to Suzanne Plachette like she's pregnant. They continue on, and he's leading them off to the hospital. Well, they're not going to the actual hospital; they're going to the animal hospital for the dogs. And the cop, I preferred the unattractive wiener dog. Nicely done, Jim. Nicely done. But this same cop later on in the film is promoted to sergeant, and he's coming around the house, knocking on people's doors, talking to them about a cat burglar. And that's the only reference you hear about a cat burglar in the movie. I had a feeling they were setting something up for a plot twist later on in the film. And to me, it just...
that was such a total...
Hi, Shelley.
Yeah. It was totally a stupid...
Juan says he watched it and he says it was horrible.
Hello, chat.
Yeah, the movies are going to be horrible, but it's going to make us really watch. It's just fun to watch this stuff because they're horribly dated, and you could compare them to movies today.
Richard.
Well, it's really unfair to compare movies from the 60s to movies of today, because movies of today, they started to take shape in the 70s with the help of Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Martin Scorsese, people who actually crafted films and actually cared about the way everything looked, the way the music worked with the film, costumes. It was like it's not that they didn't take painstaking care in the 50s or 60s or whatever, but 70s, they really started to fine-tune the craft of movie making at that time. And I have a feeling a lot of it has to do with the way Hollywood was maturing at the time, because they were dealing with more realistic topics, which is why the Disney company felt so far behind when they got to the 70s. They were still doing films in the 70s that felt like The Ugly Dachshund. If you take a look at the movies from Disney in the 60s, the plots are usually oversimplified, and you took one little thing like an ugly dog in a family, and you string it out to 90 minutes. What they did in 90 minutes could have been a half-hour sitcom on Netflix these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Probably done extremely well, too.
Yeah, because everybody has an attention span of a gnat.
Yeah.
And you don't need to have all this because, like you said, the cop coming about the burglar in it going up the tree. Yeah. Where did that go? Why did they do it? It didn't. There was no spin off. It was like they brought the cop back.
Yeah, but
it was stupid. They didn't need to bring the cop back.
Well, they did. They mentioned it, but weeks later, when he did come back, he was a sergeant now, and he was promoted during that time between the delivery of the dogs and that moment in the film. Probably about a month, I would say. And in that time, well, actually, it would have to be longer than that because Brutus, the name of the Great Dane, the ugly dachshund, was much bigger by that time. So he actually chased the policeman up the tree. The policeman thought he was looking for a cat burglar. It ended up being Mark. He was just locked out of his house, so he was just looking for a way to get in. I was really expecting more of a cat burglar really being in the neighborhood, and that
you too. You caught on to that, and you expected it later on. Perfectly, Cat. I totally agree with you. The Apple Dumpling Gang is one of those movies that does stand out. It has a lot of slapstick humor from Don Knotts and Tim Conway that is just brilliant.
Yeah. Logan looks like he's waiting to weigh in on the subject.
Oh yeah, well, he's a snob, so I don't want to know. So yeah, there's this one scene where it's total ripoff of Lady and the Tramp, the Siamese cats. The dachshunds destroy the house with the yarn.
Well, the only thing that would have made the movie worse is if Tim Conway and Don Knotts appeared in it. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome to the stream.
So yeah, but
it was a very entertaining movie.
But that was a weak plot point. I didn't understand why they put that in there. I get it. But they could have done something different with that.
But the movie itself is very slow paced. Scenes that go on for about 5, 6, 7 minutes could have been tightened up into about 90 seconds. But again,
scenes that need to go longer.
Except for one thing. That's how films were made at that time.
Exactly.
Attention span.
I'm comparing that movie to movies that are made now, 55 years later. And that's not really fair to that era of filmmaking. Because you find films made in the 60s.
But also talks about how they did, and they story plotted now, and they did pacing a lot different because the scene that they needed to spend more time on was getting the Great Dane winning the blue ribbon. They should spend more time having him go to the dog show than just leave in the last 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, but it was sight gag after sight gag after sight gag.
Oh, it was
all we did was
friend.
And then the dogs running around with the yarn, the dogs destroying the art studio, and always the dachshunds came out smelling like a rose, and the Great Dane was always blamed because supposedly looked big and clumsy.
Oh, he was big and clumsy.
Yeah,
and he barked through the whole movie, which was driving me nuts. I was just like, well, the dog stop barking. But that's the whole point of it. So,
yes.
Speaking of dogs, have you guys ever watched the movie Best in Show? I love that movie. I love all movies that Christopher Guest made during that era. He was a brilliant mockumentarian.
It was
my favorite was Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah.
But basically, you're right. Great Danes are basically big and clumsy.
Yeah. Okay, Megan says, "Oh, wrong. Where did I? That thing jumped real fast. Where does Megan line? Where does Megan line go?
This personally?
No. There was. Dear Lord, Megan, you said something here that. Oh, there. Yeah, it's on there. I've toyed with the idea of writing a sitcom based off My Family Alone. Some of the stuff that we do and say is hilarious. And I agree with you, Megan. You and I need to talk offline and see what we can do about possibly developing some stuff.
Jack, Santa Claus, Logan, welcome to the stream.
Modern equivalent in today's environment is dog with a blog. Yeah. There's so many spin-off of this.
You're right. Oh, you're so right.
What's that?
And now let's talk about the cultural insensitivity.
Stacy, you are absolutely right. Winston is a horse.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that dog is huge. So now let's talk about the cultural
Insensitivities.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow.
First it is he versus she.
Yeah.
It was
male and female.
Male and female, the classic stereotypes that you saw in Hollywood during the 60s. It was personified in this movie.
Yeah. It was like watching an extended episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show, only not as well written.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You know, the woman is always doing womanly things and housewifey things, and he's the man, the stereotypical male things. Oh, it was just ghastly.
Disney nerd.
Charlie, welcome.
Charlie.
And then you had ethnicities in there.
Well,
The
wait a
Japanese.
minute. We're not done yet with the men and women thing.
What do we need to talk about?
Hold on, let me do that. Okay, now here's the thing. The man is always supposed to be chivalrous, and the woman is always, oh my, I really need you to help me. She actually didn't go there. That surprised me. She did not go there. She actually stood her ground on many things. As a matter of fact, she actually asserted herself and her own opinions, which was actually more progressive considering the time of the film.
Yeah.
However, when it came to the dogs, she hated the fact that Brutus was there because Dean Jones's character, what was his name? Mark. Yeah, Mark had. He had to have a Great Dane because Great Dane is a man's dog.
Yeah, he hated wiener dogs.
He did not like the wiener dogs.
They were like sissy and for women, and it was just, and he made a point of saying that. You know, I wanted a man dog.
For one thing, they didn't have children in the house. They had the dogs. And Suzanne,
they treated them like kids.
Suzanne Plotchette's character, Fran, did treat them like they were her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And in one scene where they were celebrating Mark's birthday, the dogs were, she didn't want to go out with him, even though that's what he wanted to do for his birthday. She wanted to include the dogs in on the celebration because according to her, the dogs were their family. And I'm going, there are so many people I know like that, and it drives me nuts.
Disclaimer, everybody, we do not have animals. I absolutely love them, but we do not understand it. We don't get it, and we don't have animals. So animal lovers
No,
you're painting it to look like we're horrible people.
No, I just wanted to say
again, you're misrepresenting it. We do understand.
We do.
We love animals. We love dogs. It's just that what we do in our lives, it would be unfair to bring a dog or a cat into the home because we spend so much time away from the home. It would be unfair to the animal.
Absolutely. We've had animals in the past. I love them. I love them dearly. We've talked about it ad nauseum about getting an animal, but we'll just a disclaimer, we don't have them. So a lot of this stuff that we're talking about is foreign to us is because a lot of people out there that have animals treat them as a four-legged furry children. We don't have that. We don't have that kind of thing. So we don't get it. And that's great. Animals are the biggest part of the family, and they should be really important.
See, and everyone's agreeing with that. You know what? They say we're making the right decision. Mm-hmm. No animals, no time. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Grace.
In my case, I can barely take care of myself. Why would I want to take care of an animal?
No, I had one as a kid for 15 years. We had a Shih Tzu.
See, Charlie said the same thing. They're out of the house too much, too long. It's not fair to the dog.
No.
Okay. So we talked about
Jim.
Yeah. Ben, show the shirt. There it is. I want my PTV. Yeah, that's the shirt that we have now in our shop. Thank you, Jim, for posting that link. Ben, what happened to your microphone? Is it there?
Oh, he played. No.
Oh, there you are.
You got to plug it in and unplug it.
No,
it's not working.
You can't hear me?
Oh, there we are.
You can hear me, can't you?
Yes.
Well, now it's really low.
So, anyway, we were getting to the point about the men versus women. That was it. The reason why I wanted to bring that up.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
Let me read the details on Disney Plus. It says, you don't have to own a pet to laugh with this story of a happy suburban household gone to the dogs. Mark and Fran Garrison are the proud parents of 3 adorable dachshund pups and their mother, plus 1 overgrown Great Dane named Brutus, who thinks of himself as one of the dainty doxies. His identity crisis results in an uproarious series of household crises that reduce the Garrison's house to shambles. But when Fran starts hounding Mark to evict Brutus once and for all, it's up to the confused hound to prove himself and grow into his own fur. It says, this program is presented as originally created. It may contain outdated cultural depictions. Ben, run with that.
I'm sorry. I was paying attention to Andy's comment here. I'm a dog person, but decided to get a cat since they are more independent and can handle my work travel schedule. I do enjoy my cat, but miss the wagging tail greeting of a dog.
Absolutely.
Oh, I remember it.
So, Ben, this program is presented as originally created. It may contain outdated cultural depictions.
Okay.
Go.
Oh, what can we say? There was a scene where Mark and Fran were having a party in their backyard. We don't know why the party was being thrown. There was no setup for it, but
there was a setup.
There was a setup.
Come to find out that Fran threw the party to impress one of the judges of an upcoming dog show in their community. And during the setup, we find that there is an Asian company that is doing all the catering and setup of the party. And Suzanne Plachette's character does some sort of insensitive depiction of an Asian speaking, and it's just appalling.
Oh, it's crunchy.
It's
like really time. I just wanted to rip off my skin. It was so
I heard
offensive.
And I went, oh my gosh, how insensitive can you be? And how insensitive could movie makers in the 60s be at that time? But the fact is, we were dealing with a different era.
Right.
And if you take all those references out of the movies that were already put in there, you're rewriting history.
Mm-hmm.
We learn from our past. The reason we don't do those types of things in TV or movies anymore is because we know them to be culturally insensitive.
Right. Now, what happened in that scene?
I don't understand where you're going with this.
I don't understand what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going with this.
The accents were there, strong accents. You saw even the way they were dressed was that way. It was wow. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The paper lanterns and things. I liked the set, the way it was done with the paper lanterns and things, but man, wow. Some of the things they said, the way they said it. Oh, I see it, Drink that. Yes, you do. And then he was complaining that no one was eating the Japanese food that he'd presented, the stuffed seaweed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That stuff would fly at a party now.
Oh, absolutely.
In the 60s, people were more into taking peanut butter and tuna fish, grinding it up, and putting it on a cracker.
Or making an aspect and everything or gelatinous or jello.
Jello and hot dog.
Or just, we didn't think of Oriental food or anything Asian.
Oriental food.
That's what it is. That's from the Orient.
That's how they called it.
Yeah, Oriental food. I mean, again, this stuff now, we just say things a little bit different, but it was just beautifully portrayed in the mid-1990s.
Welcome. Hey, Rachel.
So that was a good part of it, but you needed to have it because that's actually a big part of the movie. And it made it time dated. It was very time sensitive.
But like they said, it may contain outdated cultural depictions.
Hold on. Just on a side note, Danny, just to make you even more jealous, I got this set for myself on Black Friday when the Lego company actually had a 30% off sale on online shopping. So I've had this sitting in my house now for a couple of months. It's still sitting. I'm waiting for the right time to build the set, but I've been far too busy to sit down and start making it. But I will eventually do it and probably film the process so I can post it as a Life with Ben, because we all know how boring my life is.
Okay, enough about the trailer, everybody. Enough about animals. We're talking about the movie. A lot of sidetracking here. We know this is going to happen. So the set was all done in studio.
Yeah.
And so that was the set. The set was fine. It was very...
It looked like the perfect home that you would want in the 60s suburbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Car was in the mid-60s. Their station wagon was a Ford. Totally not safe.
Well, Miss Priya, welcome to the stream.
Oh, Miss Priya, thank you.
Mike says it exactly right. Squirrel.
Yeah, I mean, that's live streaming. I don't want to on topic, off topic. We have another people that are brilliant that are good at that. We want to try to stay more on topic. Okay. That's what they're good at. We're not going to go there. Okay. So we need to, so we talked about that, the characters. He was a studio character.
We're talking about the set. The set was set up beautifully so that it could be destroyed.
Yeah, it was. And beautifully done. Hi, Sherry.
Oh, yeah, they did a great job of destroying it.
Did you enjoy your pizza, Sherry? I did.
So, yeah, the set was really nice. And there were certain things I could, because we've been to different movie studios, you can see what was there.
Oh, it was reused.
You've seen that same street scene in most Disney films over and over again. So you knew where they lived. It was that same house on the same street neighborhood of the Disney studio.
And the curves, I mean, when they were using the police car escort, that's the hills of Santa Monica or Mulholland Drive. I mean, that stuff is all filled ad nauseum.
Yeah.
It's very Southern California. So that was the cool thing about it. So the scenes were just basically the house, the studio, and it's your typical mid-1960s.
Yeah.
And the car. I mean, that was cool. The scene was really cool.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. I mean, I like the sets. It was the perfect, it's a typical movie set from the 60s. It really was. As far as the plot, I wonder how chaotic it was to work with all those animals. I am sure that was very chaotic.
I actually thought of how the amount of trainers they used, because they did a very good job of those dachshunds.
The scene that comes to mind specifically is the dachshunds when they were pulling the yarn around the room.
Oh, the Lady and the Tramp Siamese cats moment. That scene was stole from Lady and the Tramp. It was Siamese cats all over.
It was like Cyan Am. It really was, especially when the dogs just neatly sat down in the basket and left Brutus there just in a tangle of yarn.
Yeah. Yeah. And they looked, I didn't do this. And it was only obvious. I mean, the yarn, how they spun it around, how many takes and how many little scenes they had a clip of that.
There was a lot of editing.
Editing was superior on that.
Yeah.
Because you think it was filmed in one way, and it really wasn't.
Same thing with the paint scene that Mike says. Wonder how many times they had to do the paint scene.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah. How many times they had to destroy it.
Overall, the Ugly Dachshund gets 2.5 low-fees out of 5 just because it had cute doggies to look at.
Yeah, I mean, the story wasn't great. It was very formulaic.
But when it came right down to it, Brutus thought he was a dachshund because of his exposure to dogs until the dog show. Now, why was he in a dog show?
Well, he was a purebred Great Dane that was born out of a litter that was at the veterinarian's hospital. And the veterinarian, who was good friends with the family because of the relationship that he had with the dachshunds, offered to work with Mark to get the dog trained to get it ready for the dog show. But the thing is that Mark did this behind Fran's back because he didn't necessarily want her to know that he was going to enter Brutus in the dog show. She didn't want to upstage her. He didn't want to upstage her.
Yeah. So they were in different areas of the dog show. Brutus went ahead and did his whole thing. And even when he was circling along with the other Great Danes, he saw a dachshund that a lady was holding there in the audience. And so he looked at himself as that dachshund, even crawling along, doing pretty much a belly crawl along the ground.
Yeah, that was great training.
People were laughing about it, everything. But the one scene that I absolutely loved was we mentioned Cyan Am, that scene. Yeah, he did. He did have dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Okay, now here's the thing. I loved the scene where Cyan Am in Lady and the Tramp were destroying the room just like the dogs. But they chose to steal another scene from yet another Disney cartoon from 101 Dalmatians, when Brutus is looking around at the dog show and he sees all of these dogs and they look just like their owners, and the owners look just like their dogs.
Yes, but that's also today.
But so, you saw the poodle with this fur just all up this, and his owner, the woman, same thing, same exact look. Then there was the bulldog with the guy that was somewhat heavy set, and his jowls looked just like the bulldog.
Yeah.
It was hysterical.
So we went ahead and did this to show what the book club of the month or the movie of the month is going to club. We want you all to chime in. So we're going to give you 3 weeks of what the next movie is going to be. We're going to do this once a month, so you all can do it. Because Stacey's like, now I want to watch this. I'm going to put this on my list. So I think that's a good idea, because you guys are not really engaged because we just did this yesterday afternoon and decided all this. So we wanted to watch it to give you guys an example of what a Disney Plus movie club would be about. So this is what we're going to be doing. Yeah. We just wanted to show you a real life example of what the show was going to be about. We might have guests.
But yeah, we might have guests. And then once we're done with discussing the film, we're going to go in and do a round of trivia. And that's where you all get involved. And then we will actually have like a little prize or a little gift or something, maybe some stickers or something like that, that we'll send to the winner of the contest for that particular evening.
Right. So we'll have a half a dozen of questions that will come up of
probably more than that.
I don't know. I'm not going to sit and write these things. I'm horrible at it.
That's what me and Arnie do. We are scribes.
We love trivia.
What was the scarf she was wearing? I mean, it's not going to be not horribly hard, but just to get you engaged to see if we picked out.
We're not going to ask you, what was the name of the second key grip of that film?
No, we're going to pick out what was the main thing, more common, so you have to pay attention of little details of the movies. We'll probably pull out. So that's the second part of the movie of the month club. Of when we watch it, we're not just going to talk about characters, set, acting, and all that kind of stuff. We'll do a little trivia thing just to get involved about. So that essentially is the Disney Month Club. But back to the movie.
Yeah. So what happens at the dog show is that Brutus actually does end up seeing another Great Dane, but this one's a female. And suddenly Brutus just stands up tall, straight, and is acting just like the Great Dane that he is. And Mark cannot believe what's going on. He sees the vet, goes over and says, "What's going on?" He says, "Well, obviously he's trying to impress the woman. He's just like any man." I thought,
I just went head. Very sexist.
Again, very sexist, very again, part of the culture at that time.
Yep.
Very Mad Men. I mean, very, very sexist as well. He perked up like a Great Dane should be because he wants to impress the woman. It was gross.
Mike says,
absolutely ghastly.
Mike says, "Guess I'm out." No, Mike, you are not out.
No.
Because the questions we're going to ask are not necessarily things you see on screen.
No, we're not going to be like, what was the color of her scarf? It's going to be general. What was some of the things that we're going to point out? But no, we're going to make it so it's engaged.
So anyway, back to the dog show. So Brutus is there and he is trying to impress a woman. And he does.
Oh,
he does very well.
Well, we think he does. We don't know because it was all trained.
All right, Charlie.
Oh, good night, Charlie. Thank you for being here.
Everybody. We know we're going to be dropping like people going to be dropping like flies here soon.
Well, it's getting late on the East Coast.
Yeah,
but Andy J. says I made my list to watch the Marvel movies, and when you add that to the Star Wars movies, I have no idea how I'm going to watch all of them, let alone anything else for a year.
It's true.
It's true.
The beauty of Disney Plus, though, is that it's a streaming service where the content, some of it will rotate in and out, but for the most part, staples like Marvel and Star Wars will always be there that we know of at this time.
Yeah.
And it's, you're not going to have to worry about having to watch them all in just 1 year, Andy. They're going to be there for a while. And if
that's a good thing.
Yeah, the Marvel movies alone would take you, my gosh, if you were to watch them one at a time, that would take you half a year.
Yeah, once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what we want to do is when I think of going to a movie or seeing a movie or something, I want to be transfixed and transformed and teleported into the movie. I don't have my phone by me. I want to be entertained. And I want to enjoy it sitting there, drool, just kind of zoned out watching the movie.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because that's what so when I sit down and watch a movie, it's a point. I can't be doing anything else. I can't be like, scatterbrained. I want to have my food in my stomach and I just want to enjoy it and not have anybody around. And that's one thing we want to do about Disney Plus.
So that's the beauty of the streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
So Brutus ends up winning his particular round. He wins best of the working class dogs, I guess, as well. He wins best in breed. And then he goes on to take that ribbon. Mark does. Excuse my attention span.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So true, Andy. So he takes that blue ribbon. He's going to go shove it in the face of his wife until his wife comes and says, I'm so down. My dog only got second place. The dachshund just did not perform as she thought it was going to be. And rather than rub it in her face, he actually consoles her and says, I'm so sorry. And then she sees the blue ribbon, and then she's very excited about it and realizes they do have a winner after all.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was all tied up in a nice little package at the end of the movie.
Right. And they, at the very last scene, they sit in their family room with the fireplace. He puts all the ribbons in a row on a frame on the mantle or above the fireplace. She's sitting and knitting in her chair. He sits down. The dogs are there, and it's just one big happy family.
Good night, Kay.
Good night, Kay.
So yeah, it was cute.
It was cute.
I just want the music. That was about the most superior thing about it. I think I was in Wonderland.
Yeah, the soundtrack was really good, but it was vintage Disney.
It was. But I'm glad I watched it.
I will say this though: there are names that for the dogs, and I cannot remember all the names of the dachshunds.
Chloe, because my grandmother had a dachshund named Chloe. I don't think it was coincident. I don't know if my grandmother was watching much movie or she watched The Ugly Dachshund in the 60s and then when she had it in the 70s and the 80s. No animation, Richard.
Oh, but the Black Cauldron.
Oh, that could be we get part 3, part 4, part 10. We could dissect that movie until the cows come home.
Definitely.
Because I
actually remember an article from a magazine that I had back in the late 70s where it talked about the development of the Black Cauldron, and it also talked about the development of Epcot, which, to me, back when I was in junior high, looking at this article, I was going, wow, this stuff is going to be done in the 80s. It just seems so far away. And I look at it, but that's what you think of when you're a teenager. And now I look back and I go, oh my gosh, where has the time gone?
Yeah.
Well, who thought in the Millennium Celebration we were talking about 2020 and we're here. We're in the 20s of the new millennium. It was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Very true.
So, in 1959, when they were putting the House of the Future together, they were talking about what all the House of Plastics will be in 1986.
Yeah. Tina, yes, The Black Cauldron is an animated film. From
It
the
is
80s.
animated.
It is. It is.
I don't know if we have a good excuse to talk about we're not going to be going there with animation. It's just that's what when you think of Disney, you think of animated cartoons or animated features.
Yeah.
But it's just done to death. I mean, how many times do you talk about Cinderella and Peter Pan and Lion King, and they're brilliant movies. But everybody's watched them. I want to talk about.
There's a reason. There's a reason why those films have been discussed ad nauseum, because everyone knows them. They've been around forever. But these other movies that are on Disney Plus now that aren't as common as a Lion King or Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
That's why we want to focus on these films.
That's why we're going to focus on something that's a little avant-garde or a little bit different, that it's not what everybody else is doing. So that's what we are trying to do, is not just following what everybody else does. Let's keep talking about the superb.
Let's keep talking about the superb Disney movies of the 70s.
What's a taco?
No, it was a typo.
Oh. But yeah, that's why we're taking our spin on this channel, is to take the book club of taking movies.
And then Mike says, no one talks about movies like The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
That's going to be one of them.
Yep.
The Cat from Outer Space. That Darn Cat. Escape the Witch Mountain.
The Unidentified Flying Oddball.
Gus. I mean, these are the new. We're just yelling these all out. These are what we're thinking of.
There's a lot of movies there.
Dad, the Kid Who Wore Tennis Shoes. The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes.
See, one other angle that we want to do is to discuss the original movie and then the remake of the original movie done by the Disney studio. Like That Darn Cat had a film that starred Haley Mills, and who starred in, was it Christina Ricci that starred in the reboot?
Yes.
Yeah, from 97.
Yeah. So there's that. There's several versions of Freaky Friday.
The Love Bug was the same way.
Yeah, there were several movies of the Love Bug.
4 Love Bugs. We looked at them last night.
But not just that. They did the original movie, and then they did a reboot.
Yeah.
This is another one, Richard. Yes, that's on the list. I mean, what we were going through quickly last night after we watched the movie is how many movies that are there that we could watch.
Sherry wants us to do the No Mobile. Thing is, we could do this weekly, but we're going to do
Flubber.
There could be Flubber. There's Herbie.
That's another one. Comparing The Absent-Minded Professor and Flubber.
And Escape to Witch Mountain, please.
Yes, Escape to Witch Mountain.
Sherry says the No Mobile, but
it's got to be on Disney Plus.
It has to be on Disney Plus. The No Mobile has not been posted to Disney Plus.
There's Darby O'Gill and the Little People that she wants to see.
Darby O'Gill.
What is the one you want to see? The unidentified flying oddball space balls thing?
The unidentified flying oddball.
That's another one.
Jay wants us to do the Shaggy DA.
Dog.
Again,
no. The Shaggy DA.
Oh, I thought it had a dog. I can't.
It was a sequel.
That's another Dean Jones movie.
Yeah.
So there is a lot on there. When I was clicking through it, it was like, that's a really one.
We really could do a weekly show like this and just put it out there and just say, okay, we're going to talk about movies, and that's all we talk about.
But it's also teleporting ourselves into a time and you get to see how things were made. Things made now are different than things made back in the past, and that's what I really like about it is we don't need. Will you please stop it?
I'm empty.
You please stop it. Yes, everybody knows about Richard and his Orlando guy. Stop it. So we need to go back on the movie. We're talking about mugs. So Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, Gus, That Darn Cat. I mean, Witch Mountain. And a lot of it I saw in the early 80s when I was a wee young chap of 3 apples high. And I want to relive them being in my 40s. Because of this 50. Yeah, I want to see because of the swagger. Because a lot of these movies were very time stamped. Like when you watch sitcoms today, everybody has smartphones and technology now. We get to see how they were done.
Yeah.
I know
the thing is, think about it this way. In 1964, Walt Disney Pictures released Mary Poppins. 2 years later, they released The Ugly Dachshund. 2 vastly different films.
Huge.
Mary Poppins is a quintessential classic. It is a wonderful piece that actually shows the times and struggles of women's rights. It shows about the banking world and how everything happened and how magic fixed everything. It was wonderful. I mean, I loved it.
Oh, Mary Poppins was great, but you could see how they invested in some movies and then they didn't. He invested a lot of personal feeling. The music of Mary Poppins, that was a spectacular.
Yeah.
That was a huge. It's kind of like the Marvel of its day,
Yeah.
or the Star Wars of its day. They took Mary Poppins that way. Where all the other movies they put out.
Is Bon Voyage from 1962 on Disney Plus?
I don't.
I will
I
check
don't
right
know.
now because I actually have Disney Plus open right now on my
No,
iPad.
Mar, you're absolutely correct. It was just a movie.
Yeah.
You know, every movie house puts out one of their biggies, and Mary Poppins was the biggie for that year. But a lot of them, they don't. No Deposit, No Return.
I loved that movie with Duster the Skunk.
Yeah. But I don't believe it's streaming yet.
I don't know that it is. But Avery,
The
Bon
North
Voyage-
Avenue
Bon
is there.
Voyage is not on Disney Plus.
Old Yeller. I think we'll probably do Old Yeller. Pollyanna.
Gus.
Gus.
Yeah, there's one. Gus. Richard is wanting us to do Gus.
Yeah. I haven't seen The Love Bug, and we could talk about all of them.
I have
mean-
not seen The Love Bug in decades. It's been that long since I've seen The Love Bug.
Oh, that's
I've already watched it twice since the streaming service started.
which one? Gus or The Love Bug?
The Love Bug.
Oh yeah. Oh, the Old Yeller's a church.
Bar's right about The Ugly Dachshund not intending to be a classic, but still, it was a fun film. So
Starring out on Old Yeller. Well, that would probably be low.
yeah, but
Because
so
that's pretty heavy.
anyway, to wrap this up here, we would actually have trivia questions. Ben and I will write trivia questions, and that's when you, our villagers, get involved, and you will do your best to answer the questions as we ask them, and then we will have a little contest with that where someone can win a small little token from PTV.
Yeah.
But that's in essence what we're going to be doing with the Disney Plus Movie Club.
We explained it in an hour with going on off topic about Target. So, I thought we could talk about that. But anybody have any comments, criticism that we want to get you involved? We thought this would be a really great
Mars
idea.
asking which love bug, Buddy Hackett? Yes, it would be the one with Buddy Hackett.
We always go start from the beginning to end and put it in the order of disappointment.
Yeah.
Just the way George Lucas intended it to be. So that's what we're going to do. We think it's going to be really fun. It's going to put a lot of us back and transport us back in time. And because who remembers watching a lot of these? And what's the next movie?
Pam, we will be deciding that, and we will make an announcement about it. As a matter of fact,
I love her new look. Well,
I know,
she's a great artist.
I know her new logo. That's wonderful. Ursula looks great.
We'll probably give it out by this weekend. He'll do, of course, a video because he can't help himself.
Well, probably Ben will do the video.
I will.
See? So we'll.
I love how I'm volunteered for this, even though I am posting a weekly edited video every week.
We are going to have something that announces what the next movie will be. So be looking for that. And
the $1 Million Duck is also on there. I clicked on
that
it.
is a movie on our list of potential candidates. Dean Jones and Sandy Duncan.
Yeah. So these are going to be. This is going to be fun.
So Dean Jones must have had an apartment on the studio lot.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he was one of those, Disney darlings because he was. How many Disney movies he did in the 60s and early 70s?
Judy says this is going to be so much fun. Can't wait for the next one. I love the fact.
Thank you.
What I
such
like,
a good idea.
What I like is that everyone is going to be watching the same film, and then we all get to have fun talking about it.
Yep.
Blackbeard's Ghost. That actually is an oldie. So, yeah.
So anyway, that's what we have in mind for the Disney Plus Movie Club. I certainly hope that As some of you have expressed, I'm sure you're going to be excited. I know we're excited about it. We're looking forward to it. The Monkey's Uncle. Yeah, that's another one. Another possible selection on the list. So we will definitely keep you all posted on what movie is coming next for the
that was a bad. No, we're not talking about was it good or bad or should they made it or not. We're just talking about it because it's done. We can't change history, and these movies were created for a reason. And now we get to have the pleasure of seeing them about 50 decades and decades later.
Yeah.
On the we will do sequels. Stacy will do the first one. And then we'll do whatever is the new one, like Freaky Friday. There's a couple of Freaky Fridays.
Those episodes we
want to bundle them so we can compare and contrast.
Right. We'll give everybody enough time from it because we might have to say, we might release 2 movies. Like, okay, this next month will be this one, but give you guys enough time to watch the nether month because
we'll definitely let you know in advance, give you at least 2 weeks to watch each film.
Yeah. We're trying to do this once a month. It might be even more, but we want to get you guys involved, all of you involved instead of us just chattering.
Now, if you have not yet done it, please subscribe to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We will make our announcements there of what the upcoming films are for the Disney Plus Movie Club. So, and then of course, we always announce what's coming up on our channels in that same fashion.
Tina, that's an actually good, interesting story. She says back then studios owned actors or they were kind of like slaves to the movie house or, held hostage. That was common. We were actually just talking about that when the movie is. When did that, when studios didn't really hire or own the actor, he said the 50s.
It was, the contracts for actors was still being done through the 50s and 60s. I think once we hit the 60s, it became a tired practice and people were able to
make more money
in different studios. So they were a product of themselves. So they were able to pump up their own salary.
That's a good question, Jim. Why are some older movies on Disney Plus in the 4:3 aspect ratio as if they were made for television?
That's a very good question, Jim. And that's because back in the day, television was developed at the same time as not necessarily at the same time, but television was being developed way back in the 20s and 30s, and they started to really perfect it in the late 30s, and the format they had was the exact same format they were basing from movies at that time. So they were able to shoot content in a film as well as what's this? I'm loving this idea. We used to do this in college once a month. We'd come together and watch a lesser known movie and then discuss afterward. I've seen all the movies you've mentioned and can't wait. Russ.
Oh, fantastic, Russ.
He gets the concept of what we're doing. That's why we're not doing animation, because these are lesser known movies that should be respected.
Stacey Rogers is asking me to hold up a mug.
Oh, God.
There you go, Stacey.
Okay, you guys are going to shameless plug, blah, blah,
back to the topic. The aspect of films were just shot that way back in the 30s and 40s. It wasn't until the 50s where movie theaters were competing with television and had to come up with all kinds of gimmicks to draw people into the theaters, which is where you got VistaVision and Panavision and
3D
wide screen and 3D effects. So
it was just easy way for technology to use kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
Because, to have this format for this and this format for this and this format for that.
You're welcome, Stacey.
So that is, why they did it. Because, now everything's digital and they record all these big budget movies on an iPhone.
Yep. They do.
Hey, if it's good enough for Life with Ben, it should be good enough for any type of studio.
Yeah, exactly.
You could get a Canon DSLR or a Nikon DSLR and an iPhone, and you could do and have your own Marvel Cinematic Universe all on your own. It's that accessible.
Yep.
We follow a gentleman really quick who this is not off topic. He did talk about that. You do not need a major motion picture house to do your own movie and make it sound like it's that big of a deal.
Jay, I hope we do encourage you to watch some Disney movies on Disney Plus. But the fact is that they're still watching Disney. The Bachelorette's on ABC.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I have a friend that actually went and saw The Bachelor live in person this weekend in Santa Rosa.
Okay.
They're doing a 60-city tour.
Who goes to that?
My coworker.
Yeah.
And there are other people that are very excited about it.
Hey, they need to live their life vicariously from someone else.
I am not going to dismiss it. Different strokes for different folks. I'm not a fan myself. I wouldn't watch it, but I'm certainly not going to besmirch anyone because they're watching it.
People besmirch our 27 Christmas trees and make fun of us and tease us and bully us about it. So why should we bully and tease them? No, everybody has their little proclivities.
Jay, that's hilarious.
I don't get it.
Jay, we need to get together.
I don't understand.
My husband would go see The Bachelor in person, The Bachelor live. And yeah, such quality TV, Stacey. Yeah, absolutely.
No, we want we also want Disney to release a lot more of this stuff. This is only a tiny fraction in their canon of movies. So the more we watch it or everybody talks about it and gets the buzz, they're going to be
cartoon shorts. They have missed out on streaming a lot of the cartoon shorts. They still have a lot to release.
Don't hate on The Bachelor, Jay.
We should end this now. We're getting
By the way, after we watched The Ugly Dachshund, we did happen to watch another short. If you have not watched we watched two shorts from Pixar last night. We watched Lamp Life, which talks about what happened to Bo Peep after in between. Have you watched it yet, Ben?
No, I haven't.
Watch Lamp Life. It's Bo Peep's story that she tells to Woody after Woody leaves with her and he's on his own now with her. And then we also watched Auntie Edna, about when she learns about Jack Jack. It's hysterical. I was laughing so hard. We actually had to stop it. I mean, the short is only about 10 minutes long. We had to stop it twice because we were laughing so hard.
It was beautifully done.
So I can tune into Disney Plus right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Auntie Edna and Lamp Life.
Yeah. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight for our pilot edition, our premiere of the Disney Plus Movie Club, and we're looking forward to doing it again next month. Watch Float. I've not watched Float yet.
It's a very, very, very cool Pixar short.
We'll watch it. We'll go watch it now.
So pay attention to this weekend about our next time and place of when our next movie is.
We'll give you a heads up. It'll be 2 to 3 weeks from now that we will be doing the next edition of the Disney Plus Movie Club.
Float was written and produced by a friend of Sherry's.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, good.
So everyone, thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for being with us, villagers. Mods, thank you so much for everything you do for us. And for our support channels, Two Real Geeks, D&G Explorers, More Sunshine Please, The Orlando Guy, and Rob Fuzz. Thank you all for doing what you do for us. Can't believe I stayed up for the entire live stream. I'm going to be so tired tomorrow. Jim, thank you so much. We will all see you later. But I'll tell you, I'll be back again tomorrow with an edition of the Daily Dose of Disney. And Ben will be releasing a video this week on Thursday of Life with Ben. In the meantime, everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. And have a magical evening. And have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. We'll see you later, everyone.
Ciao.
Good night, everyone.